Again, welcome, dear teachers and educators. Today, the webinar will be presented by Mr. Nidal Khalifeh. He is the CEO of Safa.edu.co, which is a consulting company about the online learning or educational field, the online education. He has studied in many Western universities about the business management and the online education from Harvard, Durham University, and he has many certificates in this field. And the most important, his experience in this field was really reflected in yesterday's webinar, and today hopefully we'll see also more exciting material about the online education. Today, again, we will have a lecture like around 30 to 45 minutes. Then we will open a discussion so you can raise your hand after 45 minutes so you can ask your questions verbally. Plus, we encourage all of you at any time you have any question, just post it to the Q&A section. Then we will answer questions first come, first serve. So the sooner you post your questions, you will have the priority to answer you today verbally. But again, if any questions, like we have a couple of questions from yesterday, we will try to answer them first thing once we have the open discussion. But anyway, if we run out of time for any reason for the questions, the verbal and the written question, we will email all of you that, and hopefully we can today give some extra time to handle your questions if we can. I think now we will hand over the mic and the screen to Mr. Nidal. Welcome again, and hope we'll have another exciting webinar as yesterday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Thank you. I just need someone to enable screen sharing for me, please. Yeah. Okay, so today's session will not be as long as yesterday's session, so we'll have more time for questions and answers. In day one, we finished an intro about online learning, planning for online learning, the tools and resources, and how to manage change, because something that is happening to us, we're experiencing a new environment, and we need to cope and adapt. So day two, assessment and online learning, a topic that everyone's asking about, policies for effective online learning. How can I make it a success from a superintendent, the school principal? I need to put policies, I need to know about it, and common mistakes in online learning. And then we'll have our open discussion. So let's start with assessment in online learning. And compared to of course, those points are used in face-to-face. So some of you use them in the class, but in online learning, you will be using more of them. So it will be heavier than the standard approach inside the classroom. And again, as we discussed it in day one, you will be doing more assessments. So if you're doing 4 assessments per week, you'll be doing 12, maybe 15. The reason is you have more time, you're not doing lectures anymore, and you need to give more feedback, you need to know where students are at, so you need more assessments, more assignments, and more activities. Yet the way you do the assessments is different. You need to use a lot of reflection, and you need to use a lot of peer-to-peer assessments, self-assessment, and project-based learning. So if we're talking about reflection, it can be through a blog, a mind map, a summary, even a video. It's according to the age group of your children or students. And in the coming slides, I'll be explaining exactly how to conduct an assessment of such. Reflection can be done using a blog, but how can you actually use a blog, or how can you ask your students to use a blog? So if they are using Gmail, again, you can simply, and I'll show you how, you can simply go to the 9 dots on the top right hand side, and you look for something called sites. And in sites, you can build your own website. And I can show you our website, which is a blog that we created. It's in Arabic. And this is made through drag and drop. So there's no coding, nothing. You can see we can change the name, we can write in Arabic, English, add a logo, make pages, add text, make it linkable, so you can link it to another page, and so on. So it's really easy to make a website and a blog. And this is the URL. Of course, because it's free, the URL is a bit long, but you can copy that URL and send it to your teacher if you want to share it with your teacher. And you can keep updating this website, and the teacher has access to that link, so they can keep seeing the website. So after you edit and add from Google Drive, add text, YouTube videos, do separations, buttons, you can do everything, and it's all drag and drop. You can add pages, of course, so those are different pages that we have. You can use different themes. It's like using PowerPoint, you know, it's as simple as that. But you can publish. So if you click on publish, it will take the things that you design, and it will become online. And if you go to, let's see, preview, okay, it should load here. Oh, okay, there's no changes, sorry. There should be an option to view it as a regular visitor. Anyways, so see, this is the link, copy, and I can do it myself, even if the link is not there. So this is how it's viewed by people, right? And they click on the link, and it takes them to the article, and so on. So why is this good for reflection? This is a good tool for reflection because your student keeps putting their reflections here. Every time you ask them for an article, you ask them to do some reflection, it's all in the same place. Also, this is good for e-portfolio. So they always go back to the same site to check their learning, and this can be used over the years. So it doesn't have to be only for 1 year. You can keep using this site and adding from what you're learning. It's like digital book, but it's a website. So I hope you guys find this really useful, because a lot of teachers now are using it, and they call it not even a blog, they call it an e-portfolio. So the student puts their assignments, their videos about what they think about the learning process, about a certain topic, and students become creative. So they create different sections for every subject, and every subject they break it down to year 1, year 2, or semester 1, 2018, semester 2, 2018, and so on. So it becomes a one place for everything they learned and how they reflected on it. And all they have to do is just share the link with their teacher. So think about using this approach in doing assessments. So instead of saying, send me a PDF or a Word file, no, please go build this website, add your reflection there, and give me access to it. So it's a good way for students to keep updating their notes on that website. Another great idea for reflection is mind maps. I think you're familiar with the idea of a mind map. It's a place where you draw the central idea, the main idea, and you start writing, drawing lines out of it with your ideas that is related to the central idea, and you add things to it. And it simplifies the way you think. It makes you organize your thinking process, and it helps a lot in writing essays. So before you write anything, you build a mind map, and you put all the things that are related to the main idea, and you start writing your article or assignment. So I'm going to show you how to use this free tool also. It's called Google. I use it myself. So if I log out, just to show you the main page, this is the main page. It's also provided to you with the slides. and it has a lot of nice features, but I'm going to show you how simple it is, because you might look at all these lines and think it's complicated. It's just a drag and drop. So this is something I built, okay, for one of the schools. So it has all these things. So continuous development strategy, educational, human development, educational systems, primary for the IG, national system, digital tools, communication, and so on. But how did I build this, right? So this is the question. You can start with a simple one. Create diagram. And you start from the center. So you put your main idea here. I'm using my keyboard, okay? And you see the plus, it just draws a line, sub-idea, okay? And the sub-idea can have another sub-idea. You can add more. And so on, and you can move it. You can move this. You can add another line here. It's so easy. I love it. It's an amazing tool. It's free. You can add people to help you with your mind map. So if you're doing a project assignment, the students can all work on the same mind map, and this can be part of the delivery. So if your assignment is an essay and you want them to use mind maps, ask them to attach the mind map before they attach you the assignment. Oops, I stopped the screen sharing. My mistake. I just need to remove this from the top. Okay. So mind maps for reflection is an amazing tool. So this is an example of how you do a reflection assignment for a grade 4 to 12. Okay, so if you're teaching students who are from grade 4 to 12, you can ask them in this method how to do a reflection for you. So you can say, how do you feel about? So feel is reflecting. So they need to express themselves, the feeling of understanding the subject, of understanding the topic, and so on. So how do you feel about this topic? And what do you think is required to make it better? So this is his own opinion. And this is also part of reflection. They need to tell you about their feelings, and they need to talk about their thinking and their suggestions and what thoughts they have after having consumed the learning material or the assignment that was assigned to them. So please share the URL, which is the address, to your work, including 3 paragraphs, summary, and your mind map. So this is how you can build an assignment for reflection. And honestly, this requires practice from students. So if I'm a teacher, I would give them an example. The first time I give an assignment of such a method, I would tell them, if it was me, I would answer this way. And I would reflect. So I would tell them, when I got to understand this topic, this is what I understood. And I felt it's really important for the environment and for the place that we're living in. And I think we can improve it by doing 1, 2, 3. So if you give them an example of what is a reflection and you highlight it, they will provide you with an assignment submission that makes sense to you and is closer to what a reflection is. So this is for older students. What if I have a KG student or grade 1, 2, or 3? So reflections for this age group is done by the help of parents. And you do it according to this example. So how do you feel about this week's learning? I saw a lot of teachers doing it in a way that is really useful. End of every week, the assignment is for parents, please record your child from 5 to 10 minutes, talking about their experience, reflecting on the week's learning. What did they learn? How did they feel about it? Was it difficult? Was it easy? What would they want to have more of? So if something that you've done in your design and they like it, they want more of music videos, for example, dancing videos, exercise with the parents, things like that. It gives you a lot of insight on your students' understanding, if your goals are met or not. And this is something really important. You need to know that you're achieving your goals, and you need to know it weekly. So reflection is something. Peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is something that's really interesting in the online space, because here where you actually help them develop the social communication skills that we talked about in day one, and how they need to talk to their peers, and how to address things as they are, and not to become aggressive about your opinion, respect others, and so on. And this is a good space to practice, because you have your teachers to guide you and to give you feedback. So an example would be on the discussion board. So usually you have a discussion board, and this is something that's available on a lot of systems, including Google. So you have Google discussions. I would show it to you. It's somewhere here. You can use Hangouts for chat also. You can use Meet, but I do believe maybe I should Google it. Google discussion board groups. Okay, they decided. Reload or advanced. For some reason, that's weird. Usually Google don't have this problem. Anyways, so for some reason, I think, unfortunately, I wanted to show you the Google discussion board, but it's something like this. Okay, this is the Google Classroom. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, this is this one. So Google discussion. Okay, anyways, I wanted to show you the picture. Unfortunately, it's not coming up. Google discussion is really good to do the discussions, because it has threads. If you open a thread, so as a teacher, you should open the thread first, give it a title, and ask your students to go and post their discussions there. So how is peer-to-peer done on a discussion group? As you can see from the example, on the discussion board, post 2 paragraphs summarizing your reading of article X, for example, and comment on 3 of your peers on their posts. So you have to comment on 3 of your peers on their posts. After you do that, you can add to this task, summarize a video, for example, in 2 paragraphs, and review 2 of your peers' summaries, and make sure that you use the attached rubric to assess your peers. So make sure you, as a teacher, you provide the rubric for your students so they can evaluate or assess each other. And this is really important. You can't just ask them to do assessment. You need to make sure that they use a rubric. And I think everyone's familiar with the rubric. If you're not, please ask me in the discussion, and I'll show you what a rubric is. So self-assessment. How do they do self-assessment? And honestly, self-assessment is something that requires a lot of discipline, but it's a good experience to get your student in, because it makes them feel in control and value learning. I know it's a bit tricky. They might give themselves higher grades, but you need to give a rubric, so they need to justify their grades. But it also gives them a meaning that assessment is only to know if you learned or not. It's not the goal. It's just a tool to measure your learning. The goal is that you learn. So if you give them the tool and they do assess themselves, then they understand more that they need to learn and they need to achieve the learning goals and not the assessment goals, which is also always the case with education. Students are studying for the assessment, not studying for learning. So this is an example of self-assessment. Summarize the interview video titled X in 4 paragraphs, and using the attached rubric, assign yourself a grade a grade linking the rubric goals with your work. So you need to justify it. So you provide the rubric, and they have to fill the rubric and make sure that they're achieving the goals in the rubric and give themselves a grade. So yeah. Projects. Project-based learning is a tool that a lot of people sometimes use it not to its limit. So if you want to know if you're doing a proper project, a project-based learning, if you're doing that, your activity or assignment that you're giving to the students in a specific period of time cannot be finished by one student. So let's say I put you in groups and I give you an assignment. If one of you alone can finish that assignment in the time slot that I provided, this is not a project-based learning that is well designed. It needs to be, it needs to require all parties to work at the same time to come up with the outcome of the assessment, and it shouldn't be easy to achieve just by one student and everyone else is just watching that student doing the project, which is mainly the case with a lot of project-based learning approaches that I've seen. So always when you want to do project-based learning, make sure you ask yourself, does it really need 3 students to work on, or can it be done, achieved by one student? If so, then this is not a proper assignment for project-based learning, even if you put them in groups and you organize them together. The activity itself, the assignment, needs to be challenging enough that a group needs to work and divide tasks between each other in order to finish on time. So this is a good indicator that you know that you're using project-based learning properly or not, because it has a lot of time management, a lot of dividing the work, a lot of leadership and management of time. So if you want to do an assignment online for project-based learning, you can say in a group of 3, you are required to investigate the title. So project-based learning, usually you're using Bloom's taxonomy levels of deep learning. So it needs to be analyze, research, explain, all these terminologies that illustrate deeper learning. So you say required to investigate the title and provide a 20-page document. So we're asking for some work, yeah? 20-page document for your findings. Follow attached rubric. Again, we need to have a rubric for that as a guideline to help you achieve the high score. So this is how you actually lead your students to a project-based learning assignment. And because we're talking about assessment and I'm in technology, there's a new technology that's been there for a while, but now being introduced to education, and it's called Kate Pen or Kate Smart Pen or something. So this pen has a camera and it has ink. So the student is actually writing on a notebook the assignment result or answer, and the pen is sending the answer online. And this reduces a lot of screen time for students. So a student who's using this pen with a notebook, they actually are giving you the answer digitally, but what they're doing is on paper and ink. So it's interesting. Take a look at it. It's something that I wanted to share with you guys. So policies for effective online learning. So there is a number of recommended policies to have in a school for online learning. The first policy or manual or guide is the guardian's guide. So I'm a parent, I need to know what is expected from me. And this is really important to manage the expectation of the parents, because they are the people who are usually pushing the school, pushing the teachers, because they are not happy or they feel confused and they don't know which direction is online learning taking them. They feel frustrated. So the more you communicate with them, the better, and the better things are managed. So a guardian's guide is a small booklet, shows them how to use the platform, tells them what's in it for them. This is the new technology, and we're using the proper methodologies of teaching online. And a lot of parents don't know how much is required from them as an involvement at home. So if you actually have a section for that, so in the Guardian's guide, you would tell parents for younger age children, parents need to be highly involved. They need to check daily that assignments have been submitted, that students did their homework, they read the video, the documents, the videos, and so on. So parents need to be well communicated with throughout this document. I'd love to have the school make a short video summarizing this Guardian guide, and this will help parents get the message in two ways, text and video. Again, we said you need to deliver the message in more than one channel, right? Virtual classroom policy. If you're coming to my office hours, this is what you have to do. If I'm doing a lecture online, these are the policies. You sign in with a muted microphone. You post your question in chat. If you're given the microphone, ask your question immediately. Then mute your microphone. You have to put policies for the online chat, the virtual classroom. Discussion policy, again, you need to use proper manners. You can't address an opinion that doesn't agree with your opinion in a way that is aggressive. You can't use your peers' pictures during a discussion. You have to put a lot of policies there. Something that can help you is a policy that is already in the states, AUP policy, but the next slide will explain a lot of these links that you can use to build these policies. Classwork policy is really important, how to submit the assignment, where to submit it, and how to consider it as a submission. Office hours policy, if you come to my office hours, you need to follow these rules, and so on. Communication policy, how to reach me, when to reach me, what are the channels to communicate with me as a school, as a teacher, how guardians can communicate with the school, can they communicate with the teachers, and so on. So you need a lot of policies. And if you don't have policies, everyone is just acting on their own ideas and thinking, and no one is aligned. Everyone needs to be pushing in the same direction, and this is the responsibility of the educational leadership. So a school principal, superintendent, you name it, please make sure you have enough policies to make things clear for everyone who's using online learning and to make the environment safe for your children. Some of the policies that you can check out and some that you need to know about as a school. So if you're using a software and you think you're using the right software, is it safe for my children? Does it protect their identity, their data? You can find this all in the Student Privacy Pledge. So all the companies that signed this pledge are listed on that website. So if we go there, as you can see, there's resources, audience, about, newsroom, contact us, and you have a list of, okay, this link is not the main page, but we'll come back to that. So this is the main page, but in order to know the state policies for every state, you can look for your state, the bill number, and you can read the policy exactly. So you would know if a software is actually following the policy. But also if you go to student privacy pledge, but not Compass, just student privacy pledge, you can go to a list. Oh, okay. Student privacy pledge. Yes, signatures. The people who signed this pledge. So you have all these softwares who signed the pledge. I think you're familiar with a lot of them. And they pledge to protect your children and the students' information and so on. So there's a big list that you can check. You can actually search to find the company that you're using and if they actually protect your privacy or not. So student privacy pledge, AUP, it's actually made before the COVID and before having online learning as a standard for education. But it has a lot of nice policies that you can use, modify to fit your environment. So AUP, you can check it out. You have the slides, and you can use it in your school to draft your policy. So this is a template that you can use. You need to read a lot about FERPA and COPA. So FERPA is a law about how companies need to protect your identity, your information, internally and externally. So just read it. It's really good. School leaders need to read this and make sure that their schools are safe. Also, ISTE, I think you're familiar with this website. You need to make sure that you're always visiting this site because it has a lot of information about online learning, the standard of educators who are doing online learning. So you can check a lot of these things that are really nice that you can follow. And there's a lot of resources on those websites. So common mistakes in online learning. And I think I'm on time. Okay. A lot of people try to build content themselves. We discussed this in day one. There's a lot of ready-made material. I know you think that your voice is more appealing to your children. They miss you. They have to see you. You can do this in office hours. Ready-made material online is well made. It's made by professionals and it's free. Thousands of people used it. It succeeded. So please don't reinvent the wheel. Look for the content, use it. You don't even write books for your students. So why do you want to do the digital stuff? So if you're a teacher, you're delivering the curriculum, you get it from Pearson or McGraw-Hill, and you deliver the content. And you had no problem with that. Why online you want to build your own content? It doesn't make sense. You're not an instructional designer or a subject matter expert. You're a teacher that needs to deliver the content. Focus on the assignments, on the feedback, or on making the environment online for your students more challenging and appealing to their to even get them to experience new things. Use of virtual classroom tools to deliver daily lessons. This is a big mistake. I know a lot of people, even if what I say makes sense to them, they still want to do it. Again, I can't do anything about it except telling you, go through the experience, feel the pain, get your students to tell you we can't handle it anymore, and then look for the solution. Solutions provided to you. Expect that people know what you know. This is a big mistake also. We usually think people know what we know. So we don't explain it. We don't add a lot of explanation to anything that we're sharing. And we just think by sending this file, everyone knows what to do with it. But it causes a lot of confusion. Every time you're doing an assignment or building anything for your students online, make sure that you describe it properly thoroughly and answer all the questions that might come up to your head while you're drafting that assignment. So your students will have less questions for you and will feel less confused. Compare online instructions to face-to-face instruction. This is a common mistake also. Online environment is different than the classroom environment. So you need to know that you are using a different environment and requires different tools, different methodologies, and different even attitude. So you need to deal with it differently. And it is something new for you and for your children. So you need to handle the change, the stress of change, until it becomes something that you guys are familiar with. And when that happens, the results will become amazing. Keep repeating my subject and my age group is an exception. Yes, this is something I always hear from all age group teachers and from all subjects. My subject cannot be taught online. I'm teaching Arabic. It doesn't work. I'm teaching math. The symbols are difficult to write online. I'm teaching English even. So everyone thinks that their subject is different. And when you go online, you can see all these online courses that address all these subjects. So how is it successful and we have thousands of people applying to them? This means that it can be done. You just don't know how. It's okay. It's a learning curve. You are in the teaching industry, so you need to learn in order to improve, and you know that. So please don't resist and make sure that you try everything before making a judgment. So not trying, only arguing. Also stop when you feel that you're arguing without any background experience. If you think your experience in the classroom is sufficient to judge the online learning environment, you're mistaken. You need to build the experience for the online learning environment and then make your judgment. Don't make it before. Because I can tell you, I have PhD friends with me in education, and they don't have experience in the online learning space, and they've been swearing to God that it will not work, but after they tried it, they think it's the best thing that ever happened. So delay the argument, the energy of the argument, and put it in the experiment. Get your own experience and then make your argument. So I finished 6 minutes before, which is a good thing, so we can have more questions. So now we're open for discussion and questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nidal, for the wonderful webinar today. We will have more time for discussions. Again, for our educational customers, we have the Sanabil online Arabic curriculum. You can check it on Noor Art website or call us or email us for more details. The platform can be used with hybrid solution, like blended solution. You can teach online and on-site. More details are on our website and when you call us. This is just a quick brief and the good news for all the schools for the Arabic curriculum. Now, I will start with the questions we have from yesterday. We have a couple of questions from yesterday, then we'll go to the questions for today. Again, a reminder for all the participants, if you would like to ask any question, raise your hand. We'll do as yesterday, have a couple of text questions, then go to verbal questions. We'll do our best to answer all of you today. Questions from yesterday. A teacher is saying, Mr. Nidal, thank you for the informative lecture. Do you have webinars for teachers to improve teaching skills to cope with the new generations?
Yeah, let me look for it. I think it's QRTA Harvard online course or educational technology. This is something that's just new. I think it's just released now. And I think it's on EdRock. Not edX, EdRock. There is an online course by Harvard and Queen Rania Teacher Academy, and it's an online course. I don't know if they tell them. There's a lot of courses here, and if you want English, not Arabic, you can go to edX, and there's a lot of courses there. It was sent to me in a message, so I have the link. I'll share it by email. I'll send it
Okay,
to.
so we will send
Noah.
all participants. Yesterday, many participants, they asked about online the Quran. If you have any applications for Quran, and Mr. Nidal sent it to us, we will email it to anyone who registered for this webinar shortly. Within a couple of days, we'll send the Quran list for applications or websites that support that. Plus, we'll send answer to this question, like if they have any resources for teachers to improve their skills. Okay. From Anna, it says how teacher can handle online and in-class students at the same time. Any suggestions, please?
Okay, so this is an instruction issue. I would address it as a flipped classroom approach. I know it doesn't always work, but it might save you a lot of time. You know what's a flipped classroom? A flipped classroom is when you give the reading at home and you do the assignment inside the classroom. So even with your students who are in the classroom, you ask them to watch and read the videos at home using the online portal. And when they come to the class, you're actually doing the practice with them, the assignments, and you're supervising the assignments. This way, you can actually attend to your students in the class and also using maybe the virtual classroom or maybe just the same tool, Google Classroom, and get to see what your students at home are doing with their assignments. So students at home will, in the morning, they will be doing their assignments with the classroom that's face-to-face, okay? They'll all be doing the assignments. And after class time, everyone is watching the content. So as if the students that are coming to the school are doing online learning at home when they go home, and when they come to you in the class, they're doing the practice with you. And this is actually used with in classroom teaching. It's called flipped learning. And it's an approach where you don't have to put all the time in lecturing, yet you spend the time guiding your students while they're doing their assignments. Because we all know not all parents know all the subjects that we teach our children in the classroom. And this makes it really difficult for the child to get support at home. A flipped learning approach will help the child get the support from the teacher instead from the parent, because the student is at the classroom and doing the activity and the assignment in the class, and the teacher is helping that student. So I would design my course as an online course, and I would ask the student who come to class to do the assignments and activities in the class with me. And the students who are at home will be also doing that, and I have access to my laptop so I can help the ones at home, and also the students in front of me, I just can walk around them and see how they're doing. So instead of designing two courses, one for face-to-face and one for online, you design it for online and you provide support in the classroom.
Perfect. With Raya Al-Shaif, I think, or Al-Sharif, with the COVID, children are feeling lonely. How can we use online platforms for social interaction, building ties, relationships between students?
Honestly, students need to interact not on the digital space. They need to see each other. A lot of people ask me about this, and I would say if you're in a neighborhood and you have your child playing with another child in the neighborhood, this is good. You don't have to play with 20 students to get the social interaction. You can play with one or two and get the social interaction. Actually, you know that because in the school, the groups of friends are small, so like 3, 4 friends together. So if parents, again in the parents guide, if you ask parents to do social activities for their children, maybe their neighbor is the same age, get them outside together, let them talk, drive a bicycle, something like that, just to get them outside of the house. So it's not, technology is not the solution for everything. Social interaction needs to be done outside. They need to play. They need to interact. And we're trying to deliver a learning with the online platform. We're trying to build skills, but this is not everything. There is a lot of learning in the social space outside, in the non-digital space. So one advice is getting them outside in the neighborhood, getting them to make friends outside and play. I think playing with one child or two is not that dangerous. Not like going to a school where you have like 1,000 child, and if one is infected, they will infect everyone. So yeah, that's my recommendation.
Perfect. Would you please give the mic to Samia Jalili? Let's have a verbal discussion. Samia Jalili.
Done. Hi, Samia. Your mic is muted. Please unmute your mic.
Okay, what
Samia,
we can
your
go.
mic is muted. Yeah.
We'll go back to her, inshallah. Intisar, I think the second hand we have for Intisar. Oh, Intisar, yes.
Yeah. Intisar, please unmute your mic.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
So I was, doing the online, it was more of like an emergency, with the COVID setup. And we started, providing our students lessons and, things online. It was more like, just providing them a lot of worksheets. And, I do want to improve on that. But one of my challenges was typing in Arabic, and the students also had difficulty with that because we're used to typing in English. So do you have any tools or recommendations for us where we can use an Arabic keyboard more easily?
Yeah, this is again one of the skills that your students will build. So first month they will be struggling with the keyboard. Some I saw even struggling with the English. But after that month, they're typing properly. If your keyboard doesn't have Arabic alphabets, you can buy those stickers from Amazon, I think, or anywhere. If you don't have the stickers, you can actually print them and maybe glue them to the keyboard or something. But there is a way to actually put the alphabets on your keyboard. But it's okay for them to struggle with it at the beginning, so they can build this skill. It's an important skill. But I can give you another trick. A lot of students are using voice recognition, so voice to text. So they open their document and they start talking to it, and it starts typing. And I think this is good for Arabic because you're practicing the formal Arabic, Fusha, and it helps a lot. So if I open a document, for example, a blank one, there is something in I think it's in tools. It's called voice typing. So if you use this, you don't have to type. You only talk to the computer and it starts writing the alphabets. One of my colleagues, she was doing a research on how typing has affected writing with children. And when she finished the research, she got her child to check it out. And she told her mom, we don't use the keyboard anymore. And she's like, what do you use? And she's like, voice. We talk to the machine and it types. We don't have to type. So this is something. This is how input devices are developing, and this is how technology is becoming more used in different ways. So you can use voice typing, and it's really easy. I hope this answered the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick comment. We will send you via chat online. We have on noorart.com, you can buy Arabic stickers or Arabic keyboard, also on our sister company, East West Soup. We will send that via chat. So those are just in case you need the stickers or you need an actual keyboard that has English and Arabic. Plus whatever Mr. Nidal said about, like, I think most of the tablets and phones now you can switch quickly between languages without using the hard keys or the stickers or the keyboard. Okay, now let's see, I think if we can give, okay, I think we have only Maha now. We can give the mic to Maha, then we go back to questions via chats. Maha, if you.
Yeah. Hi, Maha. Please unmute your mic. Hello, Maha. Please unmute your mic so we can hear you.
Okay, in that case, Maha, would you please check
There's
the voice
Hala
issue?
also.
Yes, we'll give the mic now to Hala. And Maha, if you can check the voice issue or send us the question on the Q&A. It sounds you have a problem with the enabling the voice, Maha, so please add it to the Q&A.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I used to teach, I taught last year online. I face one problem is like, I want my student to answer the question by writing, by sharing my screen. I share my screen with them, but I want them to be controlling like me. Like if we playing game or like do search word, so they can share the screen with me. If there's any program can help me to get that.
Yes. Have you heard of Google Jamboard?
No.
If you go to the if you go to Google and you go to the 9 dots here on the top right, and you scroll down to something called Jamboard. Jamboard is a whiteboard. It's a whiteboard, so you can add a new Jamboard by clicking on the plus. Again, Zoom is hiding everything from me. So you have this whiteboard, right? It's a regular whiteboard. You can write on it, you can select a color, and you can draw and all this. But the beauty about this is you can invite people to actually write with you. So if I click share, I can add all my students and they can all be writing on the same space. We can do sticky notes. We can do different things, add pictures, add text. You can use a laser pointer that disappears. So if you want to explain something, it's a free tool. It's very nice. It's very engaging. And you can have several whiteboards, yeah? So you can have a lot of slides and you can all interact on all of them. This tool is called Jamboard, and this is the logo. And you can find it in the 4 dots in the top right corner. And you scroll down and it's there, Jamboard.
Okay, on the corner of Google, okay. Okay.
Yeah, the nine dots, Google Apps, or you can just type in Google search Google Jamboard.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, nice feature.
Thank you so much.
Anything.
Excuse me, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about the book Sanabil. This is the first time I see. I used to use Al-Afaq, and after that I start to use Iqra Arabi. I don't know about Sanabil. How I can order it? It's through Noor Art?
Yes, teacher, you can check with the Noor Art website or call us on the 800 number. Yes, call just Noor Art and they will help you out with choosing the best curriculum for your school, inshallah. they can talk to you more about Sanabil or Lafaq or Iqra, all the curriculums. Inshallah, our team can help you out with choosing the best curriculum for your school. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Anything else, sister?
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.
Tamam.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go back to the text questions. I think we have Sister Hala. We'll just give her the mic after a few minutes. Let us give some question. Okay, can we use Google Classroom for school library? Do you know resources for ebooks?
You want to use ebooks, so you're looking for ebooks? Yes, Google Classroom is like a Google Drive. You can add anything to it. So if you're looking for ebooks, you can just drag them and drop them in your Google Classroom. Make sure that you're adding them as a material. So if you go into Google Classroom, under classwork, you go to create, and you select material. If it's an ebook, this is how you do it. You give the title of the book, a small description about it, and you either attach it as a file or, yeah, just attach it. If you have it on your Google Drive, you can find it there. So yes, this is how you add an ebook to your Google Classroom. You should use material. Don't use anything else.
Yeah, the second half of the question, do you know resources for ebooks?
Honestly, for Arabic, there are resources online, but I think they're paid. You can find ebooks on Amazon. You can find ebooks. There is 2 channels that I know of where you can have ebooks. So you have Kutubi. Yes, Kutubi. For books. So
I think one more thing, the teacher asking, she did not specify Arabic or English. Like I think our audience now, Arabic teachers or Islamic studies teachers. So
I can send you a few resources. I can send you by email. I think it's better.
Okay.
Because
Then that's perfect.
ebooks, you know, ebooks is a format, right? So it's when you say ebook, you're addressing it's like PDF. PDF is a format. Ebook is also a format. So if the question was for the format itself, I'll send you a library for that.
Okay, that's fine, inshallah. What is, in your opinion, the ideal class size via Zoom?
I don't believe that there should be a class on Zoom, because you're just wasting the students' time by waiting for their turn. I believe that it should be done ready-made videos, short, where they watch them and they do the assignments. And if they have any questions, they come to office hours. But if you insist, maximum 5 students per call.
Because yesterday another teacher from a weekend school, she said they might use the live sessions. You said if it's a once a week, it is okay, like an hour a week or 2 hours.
Because it was a Sunday school.
Yes, a Sunday school, a weekend, yeah. So with weekend school, so the size will be 5 per classroom. The best scenario.
That's okay. That's okay. And it's not daily. If it's daily, it's a problem.
No, not daily. I'm just asking because yesterday one of the teachers, he asked about the weekend. You said it is okay if it's once a week. What is the difference between regular Google account for online learning and the G Suite you mentioned?
Yes, okay. G Suite for education. So if you go and create a Gmail account, okay, you get 15 gigabytes of internet storage, of email storage and Google Drive storage together. So if you use them on your email, you can't add anything to your Google Drive. This is the free account. But if you get an account from G Suite for Education, you get unlimited storage and you get all the features of Google for free. But in order to get this, you need to go to their website and get started for free, apply your school. Next are your primary, secondary, higher education. So if you need to put your school institute, go through the process, and you get a G Suite account. G Suite account is where you actually build all your users. I can show it to you, but this is IT. You know, this is not a teacher level. It's you need to have an IT guy at your school. So this is my, because I'm an .edu.jo, so I am already an educational institute, and I have Google for Education. So I'm using it for free. And this is my dashboard as an admin, and those are my users. So you can add as many users as you want. Those are teachers, okay? And you can add as many students as you want, as many parents as you want. It's your call. But in order to have access to this, you need to apply for Google G Suite for Education. And it's free, it's completely free, but you need to meet their criteria. Companies pay a lot for this. So if you're a company and you're not eligible for a free account, you pay minimum $6 per month per user. For schools, you get it for free. So make sure that your school gets it. It's free. It's really, really good. It has a lot of features. And it has policies. You can put security policies and all these things. So
Perfect.
Google G Suite for Education, go to the main website and click on Get Started for free and fill the information.
Perfect. Question, I know you answered this, but really for my school, I cannot rely on the parents. That's our problem. I cannot rely on the parents. That's our problem. That's why we'll choose live, even though I rather have it your way. Please advise more.
Can you tell me why you can't rely on parents?
She did not mention. It's just even it's an anonymous attendee. She did not mention the name, or he did not mention. I know you answer.
Usually parents are not reliable if they are not informed. So if you show parents how important it is for them to be involved and how it's crucial for their online learning to succeed, that they are involved, and it's them to be blamed if it doesn't work, they will get involved. So get them scared. This is how you guys started using technology. You got scared. Otherwise, you would never use technology in education. The thing that made teachers use technology is they were afraid that there will be no way to teach face-to-face, and they need an alternative. And this fear pushed them to use technology. I've seen teachers who swore not to use technology in their lifetime using technology after COVID because they felt afraid, there's no other options, and they have to use it. If you want to make change, get people to feel that they're going to miss out on something, that something will be missing. Get them to be afraid that their children will miss out. This is how you get them involved. The solution that you're using is not the solution for the problem. So if you've done any design thinking, you need to, the hardest thing in design thinking is not finding the solution. The solution is actually defining the problem. And a lot of people skip defining the problem and jump to the solution. And if we define the problem is that the parents need to be more aware and feel the consequences of not helping, then the solution will be not using Zoom. It will be informing parents. But because we didn't define the problem properly and we decided parents are hopeless case, we're getting students to pay for that. So yeah, I think you need to work on parents more. Don't lose faith. Try a lot with the parents. Lobbying is something really good. Get a few influencers from the parents to believe in you and get them to lobby for your idea. This is where you have parents, I don't know what you call it, parent committees, yeah. So use that.
Is there anything like, for example, to educate the parents more to make it easy for them? Do you think it's an issue sometimes for parents? They are not up to the technology. It's not easy for them, or it's not a big concern?
If you want my honest answer, parents or no parents, people follow someone who's confident, even if he's taking them downhill. Yeah. So if you're following someone who's confident, or if you see someone who's confident, you will follow him. This confidence makes you follow them. Let's talk a bit politics. Take Trump, for example. He's crazy, but he's confident, so people vote for him. So if the school is confident of the way they're using technology, and they have evidence to back it up, parents will feel this confidence, and they will follow. But when schools are changing every single time their policy, and they're adapting to the parents' needs, which is non-educational, parents don't know education a lot, and they're not the experts, school is the expert, you will get parents feeling that, they don't know what they're doing, we can't trust them. So you need to have a policy fixed based on evidence. You know what you're doing, people will listen and they will follow you. If you're not confident enough, people won't follow you. So this is to the education leaders out there.
Perfect. Many educators ask about what is the rubric issue. Like you said, if anyone does not know it, I got more than one asked about the same issue.
Rubric. Yeah. Rubric examples. So rubric is an answer for a student telling you, why did you give me 4 out of 5? Why not 5 out of 5? Or why not 3 out of 5? What is 3 out of 5? What is 4 out of 5? This is where the answer is shown in a rubric. So maybe this is a rubric. A rubric is a table that tells you, if I give you 1, this is the explanation of 1. If I give you 2, this is the explanation of 2. So, I don't know why it's food. Let's find something in education. My mistake. There's a lot of rubrics. Okay. Okay, so if I give you 1, the work shows no understanding of foreground, midground, and background.
Would you please click to enlarge the image? If you can click on this image to enlarge it, just I think.
I'll actually zoom it like this. Maybe.
Okay, perfect.
So it's a table. It's a table that tells you, if I grade you 1, this is what you've done. If I grade you 2, this is what you've done. If I grade you 3. So 4 is the top grade, and it should have all the goals achieved in your assignments. So if, example, you want your students to write an essay, and in that essay, you need them to mention something. And this is really important. You put it here. Mentioning X, and explaining Y, and making a summary, and having no spelling mistakes, and not copying from the internet. So this is how you get 4. 3, okay, you explained 1, 2, but didn't explain 3. You made a summary, you didn't copy from the internet, and there's no spelling mistakes. 2, there are some spelling mistakes, you only talked about 1 point, and so on. So do you get where I'm going? It's an explanation why you got that grade. It's to make it equal for everyone. Maybe I'm not really lucky with getting you an example here. It's just too complicated with zooms, all screens on top of. So rubric for math, grade 5 example. This will make it simpler. Can't see anything from this one. Okay. So this is an example. If you get 4, if you got 90 or from 90 to 100 of your steps, and solutions have no mathematical errors. If they're less, you get 3, and so on. I also grade explanation. I also grade neatness, diagrams, and completion. And this is the weight. So usually the assignment is out of 100. Those needs to add up to 100. And every step of the way, you're justifying why you're giving this grade to your student. So this is the table that you answer your student why you gave them this grade. If you didn't understand me properly, maybe you need to look at a YouTube video explaining rubrics for educators.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yes, we can Google it more.
I tried. I tried.
Okay, 2 questions. We'll go to live questions. If anyone has live questions, please raise your hand. Can you send ideas for Islamic studies too? This is a generic question. Can you send for the, I think the Quran?
Yeah, I sent the links. It has some Islamic studies and some focused on Quran.
Okay, perfect. That's fine. Any additional resources? That's fine.
Yeah. Should we allow Nadia to speak?
That's the question. Then I'll give Nadia, inshallah, the mic. This question is in Arabic. Sometimes I have different levels, and some of them are family members. Do you have any advice how to manage this class? I'm trying to figure out the question, like she's teaching a group of students and they are family members.
So they're making a lot of noise. They're making a lot of noise. They know each other. They are different levels, and they're making a lot of noise because they are. Some are older, maybe not excited about the topics that are for the young age. So, well, there's a lot of tricks, but you need to always keep them wondering. So, for example, if I want to teach you about friction, okay? And I start the session by defining friction and then telling you that friction is different for different material according to the surface and so on. I'm bored. I'm already bored, right? But if I start by telling you, you know that humans until today don't know why ice is slippery. And then I start talking about friction. I tell you I tell you information that makes you wonder, why don't we know about friction? Why don't we know ice is slippery? How can we not know? And it's true, if you Google it, we still don't know why ice is slippery. Some people try to put a theory that it melts a bit when you press on it and then you slip, but science says no, the pressure is not enough. It shouldn't slip. So why is it slipping? We don't know. And just telling you that, everyone in the classroom will be, okay, we need to understand why we don't know. People are usually curious about things that they don't know. Ghosts, ghost stories are very interesting because you don't know about this space. It's unknown. Addressing students with that at the beginning of the topic will get them really excited. Look for something that science still haven't discovered and start your topic with that and then build on it. It will make students feel as if they're in a journey, not only a regular classroom. So I've tried it. It really works, and you'll start hearing them asking why don't we know, and how can we know, and I don't believe you. Just getting them excited. So then they connect with you, and then you can explain the topic. So this is one of the tricks.
Perfect. Now we have around 15 minutes. I have 13 questions and I have 2 hands. So we'll try to manage as much as we can to cover all the questions. Now the mic is with Nadia. If you please give mic to Nadia.
Done.
Thank you again for for today. I'm going to try to be quick. I have a request and I have a comment. I'm going to start with the comment. The comment is like, I was thinking the whole night about the idea of eliminating the virtual classroom. And I didn't feel comfortable with it. First, I want to like insist that I am not with staying with the computer in front of the computer for 6 hours daily lectures, but at the same time I'm thinking like we do not want our children to miss on other skills that come with the virtual classroom. For example, taking turns, active listening to each other in discussions. We don't want to miss on these skills, the oral discussion, how children during all this time in the online learning will miss on these important skills that they need to be developed. I'm going to share my experience. Once the COVID hit, we switched, I teach preschool and we switched to online, and I was meeting them every single day for 40 minutes, and sometimes the free Zoom will, hang up on us and we redo it again. And I can tell you, they always looked forward for that meeting. So I think it's like they liked seeing each other, they liked talking, they were able to take turns, they were all able to share their opinions about stuff, like about the subject that we're talking about. So I still don't think it's a good idea to eliminate it for good, but like to have that 30 minutes or 40 minutes a day where they can reconnect. And
how many lectures do they attend per day?
We did, it was only me, it was just one day. I'm talking about younger children, mostly younger children. They needed that, and they, what's that? The ones I taught, they were like 4 and 5 years old.
Okay, and what was in the session? What did you do?
We did, preschool stuff. We talk about, we did the letter of the week, according to the theme, we'll discuss the theme, we'll do some hands-on project like they do, like I'll send them the materials online and then they'll have it ready, and we'll do art together, or we'll do math together, or we'll...
Did parents attend with their children?
Most of the parents did not attend. Some parents were involved, but a lot of parents were not there. But I kept communicating with them via email what I need for the next day, or in 2 days to gather whatever we need for the session.
So the parents set up the student and they leave?
They are around. They're not 100% with them, but they are around. If I need them, they can hear me and they come and they do stuff because they're still young,
Yeah.
Okay. It was. I think it's like you can't believe it, but I would find them there waiting for me before I start. Like they're in the waiting room. So I realized like they were not getting bored or anything. They still wanted to come, and it was only last week when I ended this. It's been since March 25th, I think, and they were engaged. They were happy, and they were looking forward to see.
If they're only getting 40 minutes a day, and there's no other teachers doing that, and they don't have any assignments after that 40 minutes, it's okay.
Yeah.
Again, every age group is different, but in general, I don't recommend doing this because usually it's not only one teacher. Usually it's
especially for middle school.
It's also. If you're a teacher that wants to do exactly the face-to-face online, you won't be giving 40 minutes. You'll be giving 7 hours. The same teacher.
That's true. If you have different classes, yeah.
So what you did is you compressed the 7 hours for your students in 40 minutes, and you gave them fun activities, and parents were supervising. So it went well. Again, this is why I want you guys to build your own experience, but also try to build the experience with the other solutions that I have. Usually parents with younger age, they are involved. They need to make sure that the students are using the system properly. And sometimes they don't know how to unmute themselves. So parents are there. So thank you for the comment, and thank you for sharing your experience.
Welcome. Can I have the request now? I have a request. If you can share with us, please. If you can share with us again on your screen how to create the website on Google.
Okay.
Thank
So thank you. All the apps for Google, you can find them in the 9 dots in the top right-hand corner. If you go to google.com and you have your email Gmail logged in, you will immediately see those dots. You click on them, and you have something called sites. Yeah. So if you click on sites, it will open. It's like, you have to think about it as a PowerPoint. It's really easy. So you can select a blank one, or you can have pre-designed. They have nice designs also. So if you click one design, student portfolio, see, a lot of people are using it for education. So either Google heard me and created this template now, or a lot of people are using it. So you as a student, I put my name. This is my name's learning journey. So Nidal's learning journey, about me, my achievements, strengths, goals, and this is all ready for me. Yeah, I can add side menu. I put my classes here if you want. I can put my assignments. I can put my blogs, articles, things that I feel. I can video tape myself and upload it here. So it's a very nice tool. I think you guys need to experiment with it.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nidal, question. We have 10 minutes. How much time you can today? I know you have other commitments. How much time we have more than the 10 minutes?
Another call.
Yes, I know that. So if it's so it's a 10 minutes. Okay. So what we will do, I will take the verbal questions, but please, all of you, I have Intisar now and Hayat Iman. Please ask the questions directly and make sure it's as quick as you can, and from your side also, because we'll try to answer as much as we can. Now, Intisar, if you don't mind, please. Intisar.
Hi. I was just wondering if you had any recommendations for Arabic curriculum that will address the needs of different types of learners in the classroom. So I often have non-native and heritage and native speakers all in the same class. So I know it's not a technology question, so I apologize, but if you have any recommendations, I would appreciate it.
I would go project-based learning and putting the skilled students with the non-skilled so they can learn from each other. I would also recommend apps for the parents at home. There's a free app called Al Hudhud, and you can buy some extra stuff inside it. I don't know if I have it. Yeah, I have it on my phone. It's called Hudhud. It's very nice. Yeah, so you can learn alphabets and you can learn. So it's even a child talking. It's really fun. My kids used it. So yeah, groups for different skills in the class, distribute the skills and so on. And use apps at home, like Al Hudhud.
For technology, as Mr. Nidal said, for curriculums, like paper curriculums, need to use in collaboration with the online. You can contact NurArt or check their website for alternative curriculums, but online solutions, as Mr. Nidal mentioned. Okay, so can we give now the mic to Hayat? Hayat Adiridi, something. Hayat, please.
Okay. Unmute yourself, Hayat.
Okay, sounds good. It's Hayat Ajreed. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So my question is about Sanabil. So I am checking the books to try them for the first time in our school. As for our Arabic curriculum, we used to use another curriculum, and we're trying to find another thing that matches our students. So my question is, the books have 6 units, 12 lessons, right? So is it designed for the whole Sunday school year? I mean, usually we have 24 weeks to 30 weeks.
Okay, Sister Hayat, this is a pure question about a curriculum by itself. If you don't mind to call Noor Art for such a question, they'll give you full answers, because with Mr. Nidal, we'll focus only on online learning, only just the questions about the technology or the how to build, to plan for the online learning. So Sanabil question, I would rather if you call Noor Art school section, they will help you out for all details, inshallah. I appreciate your question. Now we will go, thank you, sister. Zainab Jabari.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
I have a question regarding how we educate our students of the importance of learning over Zoom or online, using online learning. Because most of our students are thinking this is just a temporary thing because of the crisis that we're going through. And they're waiting until we go back to our regular classrooms, which they make them lazy to learn. And especially we don't know the future. We don't know when are we coming back. And maybe this is what it will be in the future. They're training the students. Maybe in the future, this is how there will be no classrooms. We will be only learning over internet. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you for the question. I would also address the student answering the question of what is it, what will I get out of the online learning? Honestly, there is an online resource by Google. It's free. It's called Be Internet Awesome. And there's like a game where students watch it and they make themselves safe and secure online, so they can play this game and learn a lot about internet security and safety. And you can also show them videos about people who learn online and become successful, how even the biggest companies in the world are not using the regular university certificates, but they're asking for skills that are built using online learning, and how online learning is the future. So just answer what's in it for them. How are they going to benefit from online learning for their career and for their life? And this should get them excited and taking it more seriously.
Jazakumullah khair.
Perfect. Now we have the last hand for raising hand, Iman.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is just, does Google Classroom by itself without the G Suite, is it enough to teach like 2-3 classes, or like there are difficulty using the Google Classroom and you need the G Suite? Because we applied and we didn't get it for free.
You can use Google Classroom by itself. It's free, and you don't need to have the G Suite. The G Suite will give you more storage, so it's just you're getting more storage, and you're getting a few other features. But honestly speaking, from my experience, teachers use a lot of applications, so you can integrate them within Google Classroom, or you can not use Google Classroom. You can use Teams, or you can use Edmodo. With Zoom, so you can make your own mix. I think Zoom also offers some freemium for teachers or for schools, so you can check that out.
Actually, like I'm using Zoom, Teams, but my school, because we didn't get the G Suite for free, so we were using Teams. But I'm more familiar with Google Classroom, so I was asking if it's enough to use for my kids only, my students, the classroom.
You can keep using it, but if your children are using more than one platform, they will get confused. So if the school is using Teams, just focus on Teams. Because if I'm a student and I have 8 teachers and everyone is using a different platform, I will be confused a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nidal, if you go, just put the Sanabil page, because this is moving like browser, if you don't mind. Okay, I will go over the questions quickly. Some of the teachers asking about groups, Google, is this the one discussion? They can Google it, I think, or we can email it later on. We have just maybe a couple of minutes. Another teacher is asking about she need more help to create the site with Google. I would ask the teacher to Google it more and find solutions online. I think there's a lot of YouTube to help with that. And another teacher asking if we can share the presenter email. Yes, you can email us at Noor Art. We'll send you all the information for the presenter and his company. They are doing the consulting services for the education online. We are okay. Just email us at Noor Art. We'll send you all the information, inshallah. So again, please, any pure technical questions, I would say you can Google it and you can find answer. I'll go with something about the planning. Okay, is there any website? Also, another teacher is asking about a website to help in French language. Is there a website that can help in French language? Do you have a quick answer for the French language, or just they Google it?
My French is really bad.
Then they can Google it. This is a good question. How to reduce the stress on the parents in e-learning, to reduce the stress?
Yeah. I said it in one of the slides, manage expectations. If you have clear instructions as a parent, you are not stressed. If I am talking to you in confidence and I know what I'm doing and everything is guided, there is instructions for everything, parents will not feel stressed. They only feel stressed if they feel that they don't know what's happening. So make sure that you give examples, you write description, policies, and you communicate properly with the parents. This makes them less stressed.
Perfect. Customers asking or a teacher about the Jamboard, explain it again. I think they can Google it. We do apologize for the time limitation. Can you please just share the email? We answered this one. Email us at Noor. We'll send you all the details. Group discussions. Again, this is a quick question. Groups.google.com. Is this the link for Google discussions or another link?
Yeah, it is.
This is the one. Okay, perfect, done. Okay, I reduced it. I have only 5 questions. Bismillah. Please show me from where I can have the e-Arabic book. Again, we'll send inshallah more resources via email for Islamic or Arabic like resources as much as we can. We cannot like promise any specific details, but at least we can. But again, you can Google such issues. We'll send just guidelines. Okay, I have 4 questions. Sharing content. Okay, this is a good question. Sharing content from textbooks with my student is a kind of violation copyright. What is your opinion of what to share and what not to share, especially now that students don't have access to the physical copy? It's a copyright issue concern.
Okay, from my experience, it's not a violation. There is a law that protects teachers when they use content with students. So you're not violating anything. If you're using a curriculum that is actually used by your school, usually free resources online are something that you actually can share. So if you have a book, for example, at home and there's an article that you want to share with your students, you're fine. You have no problem. So unless you go and print that book and sell it for money, then you have a problem. So otherwise, you're fine. So just make sure that you're not building a business out of it.
Okay, last question I have. If the answer is quick, you can answer it. If not, we'll send it via email. Related to my question from yesterday for teaching Arabic 1, 2, and 3 for high school level, I apologize that this is not a technology online teaching question, but if you can, do you have recommendations for an Arabic curriculum that will address? Okay, I do apologize, Sister Intisar. Please email or call Noor Art for curriculum questions. They will give you a full answer, inshallah. So this is considered done. Really final question. What kinds of tools, recommendations do you have for helping students type in Arabic? For example, okay, she is asking about tools for typing in Arabic. I think you mentioned some tools, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can use voice typing if they're really challenged, but usually typing in Arabic, it's a skill. You need to build it. So you need to make them write a lot using the keyboard, and this is how they will start typing properly.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Nidal Khalifeh and Safa organization.edu. And thanks all of our teachers who joined this webinar. I'm seeing some teachers raising their hands. We do apologize. We cannot take any verbal questions because he has another commitment right now. So anyone has a question, please email us at webinar@noorart.com or info@noorart.com. Email us any question, we'll get back to you via email or phone, and anything related to also Mr. Nidal organization, we'll pass it to him. No worries. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair jami'an for the attendance. And thank you very, very much, Mr. Nidal, for the wonderful webinar for today. May Allah bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.